Good morning, all of you. We have started our new topic, that is introduction to the biopharmaceutics. So, in this topic, we are going to discuss various points that we have already covered in third year BPharm related to biopharmaceutics and biopharmacokinetics. So, in today's lecture, just will discuss about the introductory part of biopharmaceutics. So, as we know, any drug candidate, whether it is derived from the plant, animal, mineral sources, or in synthetic sources, or synthesized chemically, so they are administered, really administered in their pure form. Mostly, we know they are converted into the specific process form with the help of some excipients, and they transform into the convenient dosage form. So that can be administered through the suitable route. There are various routes are there. Oral routes are there. Intra IV is there. IM is there. Intradermal is there. Intravaginal will be there. Intrarectal will be there. So there are various routes are there. Through that route, that suitable dosage form is delivered. So how the drug travels route from the site of administrations to the site of action. So it will take various stages. So that already we know regarding the ADME processes. The rate of traveling of that drug or the kinetics of that drug varies for the different routes. For example, oral and parenterals, these are not the same. Variations are also observed when the same drug is administered as a different dosage form. Now, since we are talking about the route, oral route will take longer times to reach the specific site or at least to the systemic circulations. But as compared to the oral route, IV route, they will get immediately introduced or immediately introduced systemic circulation, and it will be available for the 100%. Same times, the dosage form, consider the injection that will do the better effect as compared to the tablet. It will take the longer effect because it has to biotransform from one phase to the second phase. So this particular biopharmaceutics, it is a separate discipline they have been developed for all of the such factors that influence the effectiveness of the drug. So biopharmaceutics, it is a study of the factors that influencing the rate and amount of drug that reaches the systemic circulations, and the use of this information that we can use to optimize the therapeutic efficacy of the drug product. So as we know, there are various processes that involve under the biopharmaceutics. They mainly divided into two phases. Pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. So what is biopharmaceutics? Biopharmaceutics is defined as the study of factors that influencing the rate and amount of drugs that reaches the systemic circulations, and the use of these informations to optimize the final therapeutic efficacy of the drug product. So basically, as I have said, there are various factors like route. We have seen oral route and the IV route. They have a different viability of the drug. Same thing for our dosage form. Different dosage form have a different viability. So once you get those factors, how they will affect either chemical or other physiological affecting factors, so that we can overcome that factors and we can optimize the final therapeutic efficacy of it. So that's why the biopharmaceutics that involves the factors that influence protection and stability of the drug within the product, the rate of drug release from the product, the rate of dissolutions of the drug at the absorption sites, and the availability of the drug at its site of actions. So basically, the overall process of, starting from the administrations till the excretions from the means exit of our drug that were all called as a to study the rate as well as the how the drug will behave with our body. So basically, there are four stages as with absorptions, distributions, metabolisms, and elimination. Once you administer the drug through the oral route, this transformed into their metabolite form. First, it will get distributed all over the body. There are various compartments are there. We have studied already the compartment modeling. We will see in detail also. So that we have to consider here. So these are the different factors that can be involved in a biopharmaceuticals, like a protection and the stability of the drug. So how that protections and stability will affect because the drug that we are using is properly stable, so it will be delivered in a specific manner. So pharmacokinetics, as we know, it is the movement of drug in a body. So it describes the drug absorption and drug distribution in the body and drug eliminations over time. So basically pharmacokinetics that involves the four processes absorption, distributions, metabolism and drug eliminations. So ADMA process that we are calling. So drug is administered to the various route either oral, intravenous, intraperitoneal, subcutaneous, any route that we can select it for the administrations of the drug. As I have said, the factors that will affect the route by which we are administering the drug. Then second thing, the absorption and distributions. So the drug will be absorbed the oral cavity, gastrointestinal tract, the muscles, the lungs. Then biotransformations will be takes place in the liver. They will before that the binding will be carried out. Protein binding will be there. So there are some targeted sites and some uh, inactive storage depots are there. So drug will be distributed through that regions, and then it will distributed or will reaches to the specific sites, and after giving the specific release of your medicaments, it will excrete to the intestine, kidney, or blood glands. So this is the basic process that any process from that follows. So what is pharmacokinetics? Pharmacokinetics, it is the study of time course of drug absorption, distributions, and metabolism, and their relationship with the therapeutic and toxic effect of the drug. That is pharmacokinetics. So we can, in simple way, we can see what the body does to the drug. Means, so drug travel होतो एका specific site of administration पासून तो site of action पर्यंत पोहोचण्यासाठी ज्या काही प्रोसेस मधून फॉलो करतो that we call as a pharmacokinetics. And what is pharmacodynamics? So pharmacodynamic that means what drug does to the body. Pharmacokinetics that means what body does to the drug, and pharmacodynamics that means what the drug does to the body. Means it deals with what a drug does to the body. That means drug concentrations at the site of the actions or the plasma, how they will acted on the specific sites or how they will do the therapeutic effect that called the pharmacodynamics. Clinical pharmacokinetics that means to using pharmacokinetic principles to optimizing the drug dosage to suit individual patients' need and achieving the maximum therapeutic utility is called the pharmacodynamics. So we can call it the clinical pharmacokinetics. It is study of the time course of the drug moving to the body, and it understand what the body does to the drug. So kinetics means body तुमच्या ड्रगला कसा रिस्पॉन्स करते. डायनामिक that means drug तुमच्या बॉडीवर कसा रिस्पॉन्स करते. That is the main definitions of pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. So, basically, in order to administer drug, there is knowledge is needed not only of the mechanism of the drug absorption, distribution, metabolism, and the excretion, ADME, but also the rate at which they occurs. That is called the pharmacokinetics. So once again, what is pharmacokinetics? Pharmacokinetics is defined as the study of time course of the drug ADME and their relationship with their therapeutic effects as well as the toxic effect of the drug. That is, which is study of what the body does to the drug. So, use of pharmacokinetic principles in optimizing the drug process to suit the individual patient's needs and achieving the maximum therapeutic utility, which is called the clinical pharmacokinetics. So, या सगळ्या ADMEचा युटिलाइज करून जे काही प्रिन्सिपल्स आहेत त्याच्यावर आपण जो एक प्रॉपर ड्रग फॉर्म्युलेशन प्रिपेअर करतो, तो डोसेज फॉर्म प्रिपेअर करतो, दॅट कॅन बी used to achieve the maximum therapeutic utility, and we can develop the proper doses forms that will deliver the proper medicaments. So what is absorption, what is distribution, what is metabolism, that we are going to discuss the definitions of ADME. So first thing, the absorptions. So what is absorptions? So absorptions is the process of movement of drug from site of administration to the systemic circulation. So we have studied various mechanisms also. So basically absorptions, suppose if a drug is administered to the specific route, suppose a drug is injected intravenously, so it will directly enter into systemic circulation and they provide the pharmacological effects. But as we know, most of the drugs are administered extravascularly, mostly to the oral route. So if it intended to act systemically, such type of drug can exert their pharmacological actions only when they come into the blood circulation. So absorptions, it is the process of entry of drug from site of administration into the systemic circulation. So we can say the process of movement means upon oral एक टैबलेट घेतले टॅबलेट तोंडामध्ये ठेवले पाणी घेतलं so through that route where it will get absorbed, so that called as a absorption. So the movement of unchanged drug from the site of administration to the systemic circulations. Following the absorptions, effectiveness of the drug that can be only accessed by its concentrations at the site of action. So the viability of the drug, which is depends upon the how much extent of drug is absorbed, or the which is depend upon the extent of absorptions. We can say the absorptions. It is the process of movement of unchanged drug from its site of administration to the site of measurement, that is in a plasma. So there are various systemic circulations. Sorry, there are various routes are there. So three major routes are there: enteral route, upper route, it's gastrointestinal, sublingual, buccal, or the rectal route. So where the GI route is most common. Then the parenteral route, as we know, IV, IM, LCS, subcutaneous routes is there, and topical route. There are three basic routes where we can administer our drug. So we know as compared to these three routes, obviously the parenteral route gives the more absorptions as compared to the transdermal or as compared to the oral or as compared to the rectal routes. So there are various mechanisms that involve in drug absorptions, like the transcellular absorptions are there or the intracellular absorptions are there. So transcellular, that means the drug which passes across the epithelium. So either passive transport or either active transport. So passive transport that does not require any energy other than the molecular motions to pass to the lipid bilayer. But the active transport, so through this transport process, they require some energy from the ATP to move drug molecules from extracellular to the intracellular regions. So there are primary active transport systems, secondary active transport systems are there. Then come to the next transport system for the absorption purpose, that is the paracellular or the intracellular transport. So the transport of drug through the junctions between the GI epithelial cells, it is called as the intercellular or the paracellular transport. So permeation through the tight junctions of the epithelial cells or the perceptions means permeation of the drug through the temporary openings. That is called as the paracellular. In last one, that is the vesicular transport, like endocytosis. So that engulf the material here. So there are two types, pinocytosis and phagocytosis. So these are the different mechanisms of drug absorptions. Also, to the passive diffusions, we know the fixed first law of diffusion, that is the drug molecule diffuse from the regions of higher concentrations to the lower concentrations until the equilibrium is attained, and that the rate of diffusion, it is directly proportional to the concentrations of concentration gradient across the membrane. So that already we have studied regarding the passive diffusions transport system. So in core transport, ion pair transports are there. The carrier mediated transport systems are there. Passive diffusion systems are there. So through which your drugs are transported across the membrane. So primary active transport or ATP binding transporters are there. Secondary active transporter systems are there. So I will not go in detail about that, but obviously, there are some factors that can be affected or influencing the drug absorptions and their viability. Just now I explained the viability or absorption as well, that will affect on your that viability of the drug, that is depends on the extent of absorption. So there are various factors that influence the drug absorptions. Uh, some biopharmaceutical considerations are there. Under that physiochemical factors, pharmaceutical factors, and patient-related factors are there. Under the pharmaceutical factors, we can talk about the physiochemical properties of the drug, like the drug solubility and dissolution rate, as well as some important factor related to the particle size and surface area. Polymorphism will be there. Then lipophilicity of the drug. We have studied the pH partition hypothesis in biopharmaceutics in an absorption topic itself. So we're not going detail about that, what is exactly pH partition hypothesis, but these are the factors that can affect on absorption. Along with that, pharmaceutical ingredient characteristics like its dissolution rate. There are various manufacturing variables are some disintegration time or types of dosage form will be there. Along with that, there are some patient-related factors as there we call it the physiological or pathological factors like the age will be there or some gastric emptying time is there, intestinal uh, transit time, the disease state, blood flow through the GI. These are the various factors that can influencing the drug absorption. So there are various theories are also there for that we are using for the drug dissolutions. We know the BCS classifications, biopharmaceutical classification system that we are using to select the proper drug candidates. So there are four classes: class 1, class 2, class 3, and class 4. So which is depending upon the solubility and the permeability of that particular drug candidates. So class 1, that is both high solubility, high permeability. Class 2, low permeability, low solubility, high permeability. Class 3, high solubility, low permeability, and class 4, that is low solubility and low permeability. So depending upon that, the absorption patterns will be the values. So like class 1, they are highly absorbed, but as the same time class 4, that are the poorly absorbed. So that's why these factors that also very much important. There are various theories are there. Diffusion layer model is there. It is based on the Myers-Briggs equations. Sorry. Then Dankworth model is also there. Interfacial barrier model is there. So these are the various factors that can affect on our absorptions. The main thing, that is the particle size also, because particle size and the surface area of the solid drugs, they are inversely related to each other. Means smaller the particle size, what will happen, the greater the surface area, and that will be the greater the bioavailability or greater the absorptions will be there. So these factors that has to be considered while developing the dosage form. That's why biopharmaceutics means what, why we are using all those informations like absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretions of that drug, and that informations we are using for our development of new dosage form. Then lipophilicity also plays a very important role. We have studied the pH partition hypothesis, uh, which is based on four basic hypotheses, or the four, basically three assumptions are there in the pH partition hypothesis. That is, the process of absorptions is governed by dissociation constant, pK, then lipid solubility of the unionized drug, and the pH of the pH at the absorption site. And one more thing, that is the particle size. Means the drug compound molecule get molecular weight which are greater than 100 daltons primarily across the environment. But we know there are some limitations for this pH partition hypothesis. Like there are presence of virtual pH membrane will be there. There will be occurring of absorptions of some ionized drugs also, and some aqueous ulster diffusion layer is there, so that can be effect on our absorptions. So these are the different factors are there that are affecting on our absorption sites, depending upon dosage form related factors like its manufacturing processes. Different process variables are there, different methods are there. Simple example, we are using two different methods for the granulation process. Weight granulations and drag granulations are there. So likewise, the compression force that we are applying for the tablet, that will be the varies. That's why they're depending upon the release pattern, disintegration time. The tablets are also varied. That also we have considered. Along with that, the excipients that we have added, like vehicles are there, diluents are there, some binders, the catalytic agents are there, that are also effects on our absorptions. So, what is absorptions? Absorptions, that is the process of movement of drug from its site of administration to the systemic circulations. Along with that, some physiological factors, which patient related factors that can also affect. So age, that is major factors, or basically pH is there, pH is stomach, gastric emptying time, you can say, the volume of large and small intestine. So that are the various factors that can be affected on our absorptions. Now, second definitions, that is distributions. So what is distributions? So once you absorb the drug, means after the drugs which is entered into systemic circulations, either by the IV injections or by the various extravascular sites are there. So the drug is subjected to the number of processes called the deposition process. Disposition process. Sorry. So dispositions is defined as a process that tends to lower the plasma concentration of the drug. There are two major drug disposition processes. First is our distributions, and second one, that is our eliminations. Distributions, it is the movement of drugs from the central compartment, which we call the blood, to the peripheral compartment. It is said that the movement of drug between the one compartment to the others, mostly generally blood and the extravascular tissue. So here the concentration gradient is like the driving force for the movement from the plasma to the tissue. There are various factors: ionizations, molecular size, binding to the plasma concentrations, plasma proteins, various difference in regional blood flow, and presence of specific transport system. So that plays very important. So what will happen? The interrelationship between the drug distribution and the biotransformation. So what will happen? Drug and metabolites in the plasma. What will happen first? Drug is distributed in the body. It will either metabolize or it will either directly excreted. But at the same time, the drug get metabolized in the plasma. Then again it will distribute it in the body after the metabolism, and it will go through the excretions. So as we have just now discussed, distributions, it is the reversible transfer of drug between one compartment and another. So all this process is carried out by the circulations of the blood. One of the compartment is obviously always the blood or the plasma, and the others that we can represent as the extravascular fluids and other body tissues. We can say the drug distributions is the reversible transfer of drug between the blood and the extravascular fluid and the tissues. Basically, distributions is the passive process for which the driving force is the concentration gradients in the blood and the extravascular tissues. The process occurs by the diffusions of free drug only until the equilibrium is achieved. The pharmacological actions of the drug, which is depends upon its concentrations at the site of actions and distributions, that plays a significant roles in the onset, intensity, and sometimes durations of drug actions. So what will happen? So distribution of the drug presents in systemic circulation in the extravascular tissues. So that involves the two steps. In the first step, permeations of free or unbound drug presents in the blood through the capillary wall and enters into the intestinal extracellular fluid. ECF मध्ये the blood from the blood through the capillary wall it will enter into the interstitial or the extracellular fluid. And second thing, the permeations of the drug presence in an ECF through the membrane of tissue or through the membrane of the cell membrane into the intracellular fluid. So this will be the rate limiting and depends upon the two major factors, that is rate of perfusions to the extracellular tissues and membrane permeability of the drug. So likewise, distributions, there are various factors that can affect on our distributions. जे फॅक्टर्स आपण ऍब्सॉर्प्शन मध्ये चेक केले, जे फॅक्टर ऍब्सॉर्प्शनला अफेक्ट होणार ऑब्वियसली ते फॅक्टर तुमचे डिस्ट्रीब्युशनला पण अफेक्ट होणार. लाईक pKa, partition coefficients, physiological barriers are there, bindings of drug, and there are miscellaneous factors like age, pregnancy, obesity, diet, disease states, drug interactions. There are various factors are there that can be affect on our distributions. So that already we have discussed. So we know there are some physiological barriers uh, with special structural features can be permeability restrictions or restriction of drugs. Like there are some tissues are there, like a simple capillary endothelial barrier is there, blood-brain barrier is there, blood CSF barrier is there, blood placenta barrier is there, blood testis barrier is there. So these are the barriers are there. So to cross those barriers, there are specifications they have given. किती डाल्टन्स तुमचा molecular weight असलं पाहिजे. So one example is like a blood-brain barrier. So brain capillaries, those consisting of epithelial cells which are joined to one another by the continuous tight intracellular junctions, we call it the blood-brain barriers. So they have only two pathways via which to brain via only solute that can be accessed in the passive diffusions to the lipoidal barrier, or we can use the active transport. So there are various barriers are there that will compare for the distribution purpose. Third one, that is the metabolism, or we call as the biotransformations. Sorry. What is biotransformations? So biotransformations, it is the irreversible transformations of the parent compounds into the daughter metabolisms. So now after the absorptions and distributions, now a drug in a body, they can interact with the several tissues components, majorly blood and secondly extravascular tissues. So the proteins that are particularly responsible for such interactions. That's why they form the complex with the protein and it's called as the protein binding of the drugs. So protein binding of the drugs, it is divided into intracellular binding and extracellular binding. So once our drug is distributed, it will goes for the binding purpose. Now after binding, it will lead to the metabolisms. So it is the irreversible transformations of the parent compounds into the daughter metabolites. What is biotransformations? So it is a chemical convergence of one form to the another. So we call it the metabolisms of that. So why there is a need of biotransformations? So as we know, all the chemical substances that are not nutrients for the body and enters the body through the ingestions, inhalation, or the absorption that are called as xenobiotics in foreign bodies or exogenous compounds. So likewise, drugs that are also xenobiotics which enter the body by virtue of their lipophilicity. So basically, for the effective absorptions, a drug need to be sufficiently lipid soluble, but at the same physicochemical property that also enable it to the bypass the equations. So because only the water soluble agents that undergo original expressions. Basically, the onset of pharmacological response depends upon two pharmacokinetic processes. First is drug absorption and drug distribution. And the duration and the intensity of the action it depends upon tissue redistributions and the rate of drug removal from the body. It's called the eliminations. So elimination, which is the major process for removal of the drug from the body and terminations of its actions. So as I said, why there is a need of biotransformations. So as I have said, liquid solubility as well as the aqueous soluble are the major factor that will be helpful for our drug actions. So however, to prevent such a consequences, the body is armed with some metabolic systems. So which transform the water insoluble or lipophilic or non-polar drugs into the polar and water soluble products that can be easily excreted by the kidney and are poorly reabsorbed. So drug biotransformations, we can call them as a detoxification process. Means normally it result in pharmacological inactivations of the drug. That is, it results in the formations of the metabolites with little or no pharmacological activity, or sometimes in metabolites with equal activity, and rarely which will lead to the toxicological activation of the drug. That is, result in formation of the metabolite with a higher tissue reactivity. So the drug metabolizing or the organs and the major organ or the primary site for the metabolism for almost all the drugs is liver because of its relative richness in producing large variety of enzymes in a large amount. So metabolism by organs other than the liver, they are called the extra hepatic metabolism. As of primary importance is lower levels of the drug metabolizing enzymes are present. So first drug get metabolized in livers or sometimes it will metabolize in placenta, skin, intestine or in the lungs. Also they are metabolized in a brain or in a spleen or in testes, but they are in a small extent. There are different microbial enzymes, metabolizing enzymes are there, macrosomal enzymes and non-macrosomal enzymes are there. So the macrosomal enzymes that catalyze the majority of the drug biotransformation reactions. So, there are some microsomes are there that they will help for the transformation purpose. So there are various pathways that are carried out that are help for the drug biotransformations. Phase 1 reactions and phase 2 reactions. Phase 1 reactions generally proceeds to phase 2 reactions and include the oxidative, reductive, and hydrolytic reactions. So the primary objective of phase 1 reaction is increasing the hydrophilicity, reductions its stability, and facilitations of conjugation. And phase 2 reactions generally involves the covalent attachment of the small polar base molecules like glucuronic acid, sulfate, glycines to either unchanged drugs or a phase 1 products are suitable. So phase 1 that is the oxidative reactions, reductive reactions, and the hydrolytic reactions. In the phase 2 reactions, all the conjugation reactions are there. So if there will be if they ask the question related to the which reactions belong to the phase 1 reaction, that are three types of reactions, all the oxidative reactions, all the reductive reactions, and all the hydrolytic reactions that are carried out in the phase 1 reactions, and phase 2 and all the conjugation reactions. Conjugation with the glucuronic acid, conjugations with the sulfate maltase, and conjugation with alpha amino acids. Likewise, means various conjugation reactions that are carried out in a phase 2 reactions. Again, they are divided under the macrosomal and non-macrosomal reactions. All the phase 2 reactions are non-macrosomal reactions except conjugations with the glucuronic acid, which is only the macrosomal reactions. Most of the phase 1 reactions possessing both means most all the hydrolytic reactions are macrosomal as well as the non-macrosomal reactions are there. But most of the oxidative reactions are macrosomal reactions. So transformations is takes place here now. Again, the same thing. There are various factors also that affecting the biotransformations of the drugs, like the physiochemical properties, chemical factors, biological factors are there that will remain the same as our discussing the distributions as well as excretion, meta absorption topic. Now, the last term, that is the excretions of drug. So excretions with the removal of drug and their metabolites from the body. The excretion, it is the elimination of substances from the body. It is responsible for the exit of drug or metabolites from the body. So, which is the process whereby the drug and their metabolites are irreversibly transferred from the internal to the external environment. So excretions of unchanged or the intact drug, which is very much important in termination of the physiological action, because if they are not terminated, they will get deposited on a specific area and there will be causes of some side effects. So that's why uh, eliminations is also important, or you can call it this whole process ADME. Uh, that is very much important here. So excretion mostly carried out by the kidney or the renal excretions, and the excretions apart from the or the other than the kidney, like sometimes through the lungs or through the salivary glands or the sweat glands, they are called non-renal excretions. So in the renal excretions, most of the drugs and their metabolites are excreted by the kidney. To some extent, some drugs such as say gentamicin is exclusively eliminated by the renal route. So we know the basic functional unit of kidney, which is involved in the excretion, which is nephron. So each kidney which compromises millions of nephrons, and that nephron which is made up of glomerulus, the proximal tubules, leukopenly, and distal tubules and the collective tubules. So through which the excretions is carried out. So glomerular filtrations and acute tubular secretions, it tends to increase the concentration of drug in a human. So the rate of excretion which will be carried out by one formula, the rate of excretion is equal to rate of filtrations plus rate of secretions minus rate of reabsorption. So this is excretions of our drug. So there are various concepts. Renal clearance is there. Uh, so that there are various factors also that can affect on our renal clearance. To the non-renal route, there are various skin secretions, salivary secretions, sweat gland secretions are there. So that also responsible for secretion purpose. So this is basically called as a ADM. So what just now we have discussed till now, absorptions, then metabolisms or distributions, and the expressions. Here we can see pharmacokinetics, that means this pharmacokinetics involve the two-step absorptions, distributions, and elimination. Pharmacodynamics, that will what does drug to the body, and pharmacokinetics is what body does to the drug. So dose of drug is administered, absorptions will be carried out. First stage, that is our A, absorptions. The drug concentration in the systemic circulations, that is our distributions. Once drug distributed all over the tissues, there are this will be tissue distributions. Then here the metabolism will be carried out, and after the metabolisms, in some cases, the distribution will, and after like metabolized or excreted, ADM. So this is our pharmacokinetics. What does body do? What body does to the drug, and pharmacodynamics is what drug does to the body. So here to the oral and through intravenous, how it will administers, how it is metabolized. Now, as we know through the IV route, the drug is not, it will avoiding the first pass effect. So it will available in a higher concentration that we already studied. Okay. And the remaining parts that will conclude, sorry, we will continue this in next lecture.